Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video in the bio section of social media. We have a lot of earnings this week. I looked at the economic calendar. I don't see anything to be alarmed about. No Powell, so it should be hopefully a decent week with no Fed interruptions, but you never know. I'm sure they'll come out and say something. But with that said, I'll get started. I have a little bit on my bullish side and some on my bearish side, but we'll be mostly playing. The stocks I always play. Then, like I said, we'll play some earnings reactions and see how how things end up playing out with earnings this week. So with that said, I'll start with NVDA. Now, I know NVIDIA's got a split coming up, I think on Tuesday morning or whatever, but I'm looking at NVIDIA's 1 hour. I mean, anytime NVIDIA has a big red few days, right here, you can see on the daily right here, you get 3 black crows right here, and it ends up bouncing off that, but it does not stay down very long. So you get the 1 hour below 20 RSI. I think that you're going to see NVIDIA have a strong day tomorrow. So I would not be surprised if we end up seeing NVIDIA at the 750 plus tomorrow. So we could end up seeing a strong day. So I would watch it over, I could say 730. Yeah, if we push to 740 to 755, 760, it's basically going to be every big $5, $10 round number. So I would watch for that. Then I have SPLK, Splunk. Now, the thing I keep looking at is I'm looking at a couple things on this. This thing is just can't get out of its own way. It just... one of the things is I'm looking like an inverted head and shoulders on the weekly and the daily. You can see the left shoulder there, the head, and possibly the right shoulder. You can see the left, the head, and possibly the right. So if it does start to round and start to curl up and get over this 146 area, 145 area, I think you could see a significant pop. So every time SPLK has a monster drop like it has down in the 113 area, it likes to rebound hard. So I mean, it did, once it get over this 140, let's say 150 area, that it just, no looking back, it just went. So I'm not expecting it to make a massive run like that next couple weeks, but if it does manage to get up to the 146, 145 area, it's probably going to push to 150, which is going to be a big psychological number and area. And if it does manage to get over that, I mean, that's when you're going to see some significant moves in SPLK. So I would keep an eye on that. I would watch it over 135 for a push to 140. Get a gap fill right there at 140, 141. Then you get the 145 area, then 150 will be the next big area. Then you have Win. Now Win has just been dropping the last couple weeks, and on the weekly it's getting right close to the RCT trend line. Maybe it gets to 100 before it does bounce, but I would definitely keep an eye on it for a reverse. I mean, the RSI is showing a bullish divergence. I mean, it's making a lower low on the RSI, but yet it's making a higher low, sorry, on the RSI. It's making a lower low on the candles. So even the histogram is showing the same thing, lower highs right there. So I mean, higher lows. So I'm all I can't speak right today. So I would definitely watch for the bullish divergence to try to play out on Win. So I would watch it over like 104. I would say 106, 107 for push to the 110, 112, 115 area. Then you get this 120. So yeah, you get the bullish divergence on the histogram, the MACD, and the RSI. So you're showing them multiple indicators. That usually means to keep an eye on it, that it's going to end up doing something. Now SPY, SPY is having a hold on a second here. Okay, I just want to bring up this. I posted it on Twitter. This is the put to call ratio, and anytime it gets in these extreme zones, like right now it's like 6.69, that you're going to end up seeing a monster squeeze. The last time it was in this area was right around the end of October of 2020, and let's see, the end of October 2020, which is right here, this candle right here. This is where, I'll blow it up so you can see it. This is where it was, where I just showed you on the stock charts, and this was the next day. So this is what we're probably going to end up seeing. Let me bring up the thing again. There, see right there. Let me just put the thing. 26th, and that was the Monday. So this was Friday, and this was Monday, and ironically, it's pretty much the same thing. We had the drop on a Friday, and I think that we're going to end up having this on Monday. So can it go higher? Yeah, it can go higher, but I think that we're going to end up having a reversal. So we'll just have to see if that happens, and play it accordingly. So I would watch SPY to probably gap up. The thing I hate about these gap ups is sometimes SPY gaps up so much pre-market and overnight that you can't play it the next day, because it will gap up $5, and you're basically chasing a $5 run, and that's where things can get kind of dangerous when you're chasing gap ups like that. So if it gaps up over 435, I mean, it could make an easily run to all-time high, make new all-time highs. But I hate when it has those massive gap ups. I wish it would like gap down or stay flat, then make the pop on Monday morning. So we'll have to see what happens with futures tonight and pre-market tomorrow. And that's why you need to be in the room. These gap ups and gap downs change the dynamics of the play, and I make my decision in the morning which direction I'm going to look at it. So that's why you need to be in the room, because sometimes things just don't work out the way they're supposed to, and one news event or one gap up or gap down changes everything. So with that said, that's what we'll be watching at SPY. BABA is another one. Now BABA, I've kind of got like mixed feelings on this, because it did have a down day on Friday. It's been kind of chopping the last couple of days, so I could go lower, yes, but I keep looking at the weekly, and it's starting to hold this 200 level, and it had bounced off that to have a solid, not a solid, but a decent green week. So I mean, if it does manage to get over this 216 level, it could end up pushing to fill that gap at 220 and push to 230. And also the GDP on China. China's starting to do pretty good, so I would expect China stocks could end up starting to pop overall. So we'll just have to see how BABA plays out this week. Now on the bearish side, I have a few. I have Apple is one. Now Apple's just starting to look very toppy on the weekly and the daily. You get this topping candle right here. Well, I can say a doji outside the Kellner channel. You get this nice big red candle on the daily. So I would watch it underneath 145 for a push to 144. Basically every whole dollar, 142, 140. Now the big area would be this 143, 142 area, right? There's 143 right there. And you get this other big area on the daily right in here, 137. So could it go all the way back down to 137? Sure, it could, but we'll have to see. Now if the market's strong, Apple's probably going to end up going with it. So that's why you need to be cautious about what the market's doing and pick the stocks that follow the market now. Target is another one. Target is keeps having a monster run. I mean, it was $80, actually $90 last year, and now it's 251. It's just the run is just ridiculous. I think it needs to cool off, but I don't know. I mean, the RSI is over 80 on the weekly. It's starting to come down on the daily, so I would watch it underneath 250 for a push to 248, even the 245 area. Then you get this area right here could bounce right around the 237. So, I mean, I think Target eventually is going to come down a little bit. It's just had too much of a run too fast. It's got to let some air out and let the RSIs cool down. But it could keep going. So I will be watching that for some weakness. Now Netflix, I know Netflix has got ER on Tuesday after hours. It just gets in this 550 area and it gets rejected. So it did reject, so I'd watch underneath this 526 area. It gets underneath that, it can end up dropping all the way down to 510, 515, even 500. You get a lot of support in this. It's pretty open air between 526 down to 515, 510. So it could drop quite a bit in that. So we'll have to see how earnings is for Netflix. Now I probably won't play it until after earnings because the options is going to be way too expensive. So with that said, go to Roku. Obviously, when they have ER on Netflix, that I'll have the plan out the morning of Wednesday of what I'm going to look at on Netflix. So now Roku's just, it did finally end up dropping 2 weeks ago. So I can't believe it actually got up as high as it did. So I kept looking at it to short. So I've been kind of like nibbling here and there. But we get an inverted cup and handle, got the cup, get the handle, and it kind of dropped a little bit. So, I mean, you could end up seeing a push down to 380 to even the 360 area on Roku. So I would watch it underneath the 396 area for a push to the 380, let's say 385, 390, 385, and 380. Then the big area is going to be the big area is this 380 area. Then you got 365. So we'll have to see if Roku will actually drop this week. And we'll probably have a reaction to Netflix's earnings. So I'm watching Cat for a short. I mean, inverted cup and handle on the weekly. You get the cup, you get the little handle. You can see it on the daily too. This is the giant cup. This is the handle. So I would watch it underneath Friday's low of 207 for a push to. I'm probably gonna have to go to the weekly. Probably 200 is gonna be the big psychological number. Then you're gonna have 195. Then the 190 area. Maybe we get the 195, 190. You get the RCT trend line right here on the weekly at 195. So it could possibly try to bounce like right here. It pulled back, it bounced right off the RCT trend line, this orange line. So it could try to do the same thing, or it could end up finding 180. So I would watch Cat for that move. Now BA is the last one. Now BA, it just kind of got a little bit of a head and shoulders right here. You get the left, you get the head, the right shoulder on the weekly. Probably see it on the daily if I expand it out, but BA just looks like it's running out of gas, so I would watch it under Friday's lows. I would say 216 for a push to 208. You can even say 210 right there. 210. Then let's see if I'm gonna have to go weekly. 205. And you get 200. 200 would be a big psychological number. Then you get the this low right here of the 195 area. So I'm not sure if BA will get below 200. 200 seems to be a big psychological number, but if there's any bad news or anything, or even good news, I mean, BA drops some good news. It's kind of, BA's kind of funny like that, where it gets bad news, it pops. It gets good news, it drops. So it just, have to see how it plays out this week. So I will be watching that one too for sure. So that's going to do it for the watch list. I know there's a few expensive ones on here and some ER this week, so it should be a pretty good week. Hopefully there'll be some volatility, and yeah, so that's going to do it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hope to see you in the room. Thanks for watching.